Hi, my name is Gary Lanham. I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker in the Fort Lauderdale Beach office, and I'm happy to welcome you to At Home with Gary. And today we're in my home, and we're with my good friend Shawn Clarke, who's my designer. We want to share with you some of the things that I did during COVID because my place got redesigned because I was staying at home, working at home, and I needed a better space. So Shawn's going to share with you some of the things he's done, and he's done a lot in this property to make it more livable, more comfortable, and so I could be without other people because during COVID, I was here alone. So the first thing we actually started off with before I met Shawn was I wanted a home entertainment center, and we'll share that with you because that kind of became the focal point of how I lived and worked at home. I then asked Shawn to come in, and by the way, Shawn came to me by a good friend, Ted Wolf, who is a mutual customer and has become a good friend of mine, who basically has introduced me to Shawn because there was something in Ted's condo that was really special and something I'd never seen. And that was the ceiling that we have, which is made of vellum. And we heard from Luis Yensa and how he designed my garden. Shawn's job was to bring that garden inside. And one of the ways he did that was with the vellum. You want to share kind of the concept of what we did, Shawn?
Yeah, the vellum is a stretch ceiling. It used to be called a balloon ceiling. And the good thing about this one is it's in a gloss finish. So it's going to reflect everything, any light that's cast upon it. And so if you have a view out a window, it's going to reflect that view. If you have a mirror, it's going to reflect the mirror and the light that's hitting the mirror. So it actually opened up the space. So your ceiling explodes up. So you don't feel like your ceiling is low. So when we did that, everything opened up. We started to see the foliage that we had planted out in the front of the home, and it just thought it looks really special.
And I certainly appreciate it. And everybody comments. So what essentially this ceiling does is adds volume to your property. So instead of having a 9-foot ceiling, it looks like you have a 12 or a 14-foot ceiling and with the reflection. Some of the other things that we tried to accomplish, well, you'll see from the before pictures that I have, was I had ceramic tiles. And the ceramic tiles just were not working for me anymore. I also had windows that were jalousie windows. I also had a roof that was about to leak and needed to be replaced. I also had bathrooms that were totally updated and didn't give me a lot of room to much less do anything but turn around. So we tried to address all those problems, and we also addressed an open kitchen concept. And you'll see that as we go through through my property today, and we hear more from Shawn on that. So Shawn, once we got that kind of work done, what was the next step?
Well, after we got all the construction items done, the flooring and the bathrooms and the plumbing, and then we started to layer on all the decor. So then it started with the painting and the choices of the colors. And we started to look at furniture, and we were especially interested in a sofa that would lead to the entertainment and relax in front of the TV and watch a good movie. So we started to pull and layer in all these things that Gary wanted to accomplish with his redecoration. So we started with color, layering on furniture. The sofa was huge for us, so it's a brand new sofa. And with the onset of COVID, we did have some delays. We still are waiting for some furniture, pieces that go under this mirror, which are bookcases, chairs that we're replacing. So COVID spawned this redecoration, and we're actually working through it still as we sit here.
So one of the curious things to me when you got started, Shawn, you pointed out to me the importance of maintaining some sentimental, nostalgic types of items. And I have some paintings that I did as a kid. They actually were kind of draw by number, but they don't look. I actually filled the lines in so you can't see the numbers. And Shawn said we're going to use those, and we are using those. This rocking chair on the right is something else that Shawn pointed out. That was actually my father's rocking chair. He died in the 1980s. So my mother inherited that, and my mother was deceased. I inherited it as well. Likewise, these chairs, which are basically wing chairs, they had Queen Anne legs, and we're going to be updating those. But in the meantime, we decided, how do we make them more contemporary, put some kind of wild fabric on it, put some steel legs on it, take those Queen Anne wood legs off, and then try to make it blend together. And then the other piece that I really liked that Shawn helped me with was this old dresser, which really was probably a piece of wicker or bamboo. And that was highly glossed in turquoise. And I have kind of some special sentimental as far as chasing turquoise cars around about 2002, which it was kind of a remembrance of that. So Shawn, once we got that done, what was the next thing we needed to tackle?
Well, I just want to go back to one thing is that when you say I asked you to sentimental items, I think that's really important when you're decorating is to, when your client has things, you need to include those things in their home because it's their home and you don't want it to end up looking like a hotel. You want it to be personalized for them. So after we identified those items and we started working on them, we had the chair painted, fixed, repaired. We have cushions made, some more that are going to be coming still. We started to layer on all the soft pieces, the cushions, the fabrics, the bedding, and soften the rooms. So that's kind of the final layer. He also wanted to achieve a gallery effect. So with his fantastic artwork, we've had it hung so that it's reminiscent of a gallery. So we've put up many items and it's all across his back wall, and there'll be further when you go through the house. We'll show you some others.
Yeah, so art's been very important to me and as you'll see when we go through the house, some of these pieces I've had since I lived in Dallas, and they have a lot of sentimental value as far as how I acquired the pieces and what they mean to me because I knew the artist. And then during the process, I had the opportunity to meet Wendy White, who's not only an artist, but she's a filmmaker, and she's from New York, went to Columbia University, and she's pretty important in the art world these days. And a friend of mine from Miami, from the Frost Museum, said, you need to meet Wendy White. So I have two of her pieces, the most recent one being the piece directly behind me, which is of the sea. So as we go forward now and talk about the house and take you through the house, we'd like to point out some other details that you might be interested in.